Okay. It is time for another road trip with Rachel. This time it's actually work related. I am on my way into Wichita for a homeschool conference. It's 6.5 hours away, so I've got quite a long time that I'm going to be in the car. So today is travel day. Then I'm going to be at the conference Friday. It's an all day thing. And then most of Saturday, and then I'll be heading back on Saturday night. So it's going to be either a very late night Saturday for me or an extremely early Sunday morning. I've done it before, so it's not that big of a deal. But I am going to be passing through Kansas City, which is going to be fun. And then I'm going to, like I said, to be in Wichita. I've never been to Wichita, so this is a new experience for me. I have my printed out directions because, yes, I am that person. And then I have just my phone going with maps. Thank you, Google. I love Google Maps. It's great. But this is going to be a nice drive. So far, enjoying it. Just got the audiobook going. I've already been on the road for about an hour and a half. So it is going to be a very long day. But I've got a few planned stopping points for me to get out and stretch my legs. And once I make it to my destination, I have to stop, unload, get my table and everything set up for the conference. I get to do that today, get checked into my hotel, and then we are going to hopefully do just minor exploring, because normally when I come on trips like these, I'm not traveling too far around, mainly because traveling does tire you out. And then most people don't realize, but whenever you're at a conference or if you are at a college fair that lasts for multiple hours, it really tires you out, between the standing and the talking and the repeat of information and trying to make notes on people. And then it comes and goes too. So there's also normally with conferences, there's a lot of waiting in between people going to sessions and things like that. So you're hopping for certain times and then you're not for other times, and yeah, it's long to put it lightly. But it's gonna be a good day. I'll try and nab some photos and share a little bit of the adventures as we go. This ultimately comes down to at this point is that I'm bored. That's really what this comes down to at this point. I have driven through I don't know how many construction zones, and I'm bored. Most of the time when I make road trips, don't get me wrong, I enjoy a good road trip. I mean, this is road tripping with Rachel, so don't get me wrong when I talk about road trips. But a good road trip, there's stuff to look at, places to stop, things to see. And right now I'm just listening to audiobooks, which is fine. I have no problem with it. I actually made a stop in Kansas City. I'm an alum of Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, which definitely not sponsored. They're not going to sponsor me, ever. But they wouldn't even ask to sponsor me, so I don't even feel bad saying that. But while I was going to have to go through Kansas City anyway, and so I was like, I'm just going to stop. I'm going to stop at my old stomping grounds. I ran in and grabbed a book for me to read because, like I said, at a conference, not that the conference in and of itself is going to be bad. It's just, I've been to enough conferences to know that, there are, like I said earlier, you're going to have lags, pretty much. So there will be times where it's going to be like super busy, and there's going to be times where it's absolutely dead. And sorry, I've got all these cars around me, and there's a truck behind me that I was behind that was driving like 65, which don't get, like 65 is fast. Like most interstate, like most roads in Missouri are like 60 or 65, so it's not like I'm complaining about 65, but when the speed limit's 75, like that makes a big difference. Anywho, so I stopped in and I bought a book. I'm excited. It's going to be about C.S. Lewis, so it'll give me a little bit of a mental break of things, kind of to do like during the conference, like while I'm there, and during like the dead times. I've got something else for me to do, but like I need to switch off and keep myself mentally engaged. You just have to. When you've been to enough conferences, like as an exhibitor or as a vendor, like you just learn how to do it. But I'm basically just chit-chatting to give yourself something to do, just because of how long this is. So like I left my work at 8:30 this morning. It's currently 2:35. Now, like, I did stop for lunch. I ran in and grabbed a book at Midwestern. I visited with just a few people who were in the student center there, which is very nice if you're ever in the Kansas City area and you just want to take a look-see. It's worth going in. Stop by the Tomlinson Cafe. Stop by the Store and Trowel. It is very nice. Absolutely. And if you're there during the day, say hi to Debbie. Debbie's wonderful. So she's been with Midwestern both with their previous bookstore they had, and then with the current one. So she's been there for many, many years. Lovely lady. But anyhow, while I've been driving, I've been listening to an audiobook. I mentioned in like the previous video that I posted about Yeonmi Park that she had recently been on Socrates in the City, and so in 2010 Socrates in the City actually published a book like with 10 talks from different years across, like for their first 10 years that they existed, and they're based out of New York City, which is really cool. But it's hosted by Eric Metaxas, which if you've read any of his stuff, he's a great author. And if you ever watch any of the YouTube videos or listen to the podcast, which, just saying, definitely not sponsored by them. I do not run in any of the circles that would ever lead me to being sponsored by them or like even becoming a speaker for them. Although that would be awesome if I could ever become a speaker for them. I would love to talk about the importance of why you should pursue like Christian higher education and just Christian education in general in your churches. So Socrates in the City, if you ever want to sponsor me, I already got my topic all picked out for you. But it is a really, it's just one of those things that makes you think, and that is their premise and their mission, about how the unexamined life is not worth living. And so they will bring in speakers. Vast majority of them are Christians, and they run this, I'm going to say, like, they run the gamut of like different denominational backgrounds, different jobs. Like, they're all in different career paths. Some are in like writing, some are in theater, some are scientists. They bring in people from jolly old England from time to time. They've had people like Sir John Polkinghorne. They've had like John Lennox has been on there. Os Guinness. I'm actually a really big fan of Os Guinness. I was introduced to him, not him like in person. Like, I've never actually met Os Guinness, but I was introduced to his writing whenever I was in college in like my very last class as a Christian ministry major. Called No God But God. Fabulous work. I think it's out of print now, but if you would have to like look on like Amazon or eBay, but if you ever get the opportunity to find a copy of it, it's 100% worth reading. I'm just a really big fan of Os Guinness in general. He's a social critic, and I would say like he's spot on as far as like his critiques of Western culture and his critiques of American culture in general. Just because like he is not an American, he is from Great Britain and the United Kingdom, so like even though he lives here in the US, so he's able to just say things because he's not a part of it officially. He can be critical that way. But anyway, he's been one of the speakers. They've had Catholics, Anglicans, Church of England, NT Wright. So they've had like bishops on there. They have had people who are Methodists. They've had, I believe, Eastern Orthodox. And they've also had some, and they, like I said, they come from a variety of different careers. So, and they address all these different topics. They're also really big C.S. Lewis fans, which, by the way, I love C.S. Lewis. I actually own a book called Planet Narnia, which I purchased. I ended up with a used copy, but I learned about the writer and the book because I saw it on a video that was posted on YouTube several years ago, many moons ago. I saw the speech given by the author, so I ended up with a copy of it, and it's actually signed. I actually have pastor and his wife are reading it, or like there's a couple people in their family who wanted to read it once I told them about it. So right now I have it loaned out, but love C.S. Lewis, love the Chronicles of Narnia. But in the same vein as C.S. Lewis, his stuff really makes you think, and that is the whole point of Socrates in the City. So if you ever get the opportunity to check out the podcast, check out some of the YouTube videos. You can even follow them on social media. They bring in some really great speakers who address a lot of topics, and they will even have people, and sometimes you're definitely going to agree with them, and sometimes you're not. Like, there have been people I've been like, no. But like I said, though, it runs the gamut, so it's a great way to be introduced to some new ideas and just to force you to think and to analyze why you think one way or why you believe one way about like a particular topic. And so I guess this is the end of like my car chat, at least for like right now, because just so you can have a look, there we go. We are still in Kansas, and it is flat. Like, that's all I got to say. So, who knows? I've still got like at least 100 miles until I make it to Wichita, and then like the place I'm actually going is on like the western side of Wichita. So we're gonna see like if I want to get back on and do another chat. So I'm in Emporia now, and I have now crossed over into the Flint Hills. So right now it's not hilly. I mean, there are some slopes, because I haven't actually hit like western Kansas. Like, I'm not going to go that far west, but I just want to let you know there's going to be some hills coming up, and I'm currently driving on the left side of the road because, once again, I have hit construction. All a part of the road tripping life. That's all I got to say. Okay, we're finally starting to see some of those hills. That proves that we are in what I would consider probably more of like the prettier side of Kansas. And I'm sorry if there's anybody from Kansas who sees this. But the hills are what I think are the pretty part of Kansas, here in more of like the southern part. Sorry. But at least it's starting to look pretty, and there are trees. I'm not just in the flat part of Kansas. And we all know I'm speaking the truth. Okay, y'all. It was a long drive, as you can probably guess from the little chit-chatty things that I was posting. I mean, it's bad when you're like, look, we're in the hills. So, I did a good thing. I'm just saying, I went on ahead, and when I reserved my room, I'm a Choice Hotels member, because when I initially started my job, like, I had to travel a whole lot more than I currently do. And so, I like to shop on the cheap, if you haven't picked up on that yet. And so I reserved this room. It's right off of a main road. Not bad at all, but when you pulled up, I was like, oh man, did I make a mistake? Like, I can't cancel. Hopefully this isn't a mistake. Got in, and apparently, like, the guy who works here is one of the owners, and his family owns one of the hotels in Hannibal. Who would have thought? And then, I get up to the room, and I'm just like, recently renovated. It looks nice and here. Now remember, like, I'm at like a roadway inn. So, I mean, it's not like it's like anything like super duper like fancy or special. You know, we got nice floors. We got a nice bed. We got a decent space. I got, you know, refrigerator and a microwave, you know, nice big vanities back there. So a bad like decision on my part. I'm quite proud of that. And like I'm literally like maybe half a mile away from like Walmart, which we all know Midwest, like no matter how you feel about Walmart, the first thing you do when you travel is you find out the Walmart because it's going to tell you where everything's at. So I am probably going to go and find something to eat for my dinner and probably pick up some coffees because as I've mentioned before on my channel, I do calorie counting because that's what my doctor and I have agreed is probably the best decision for me to help me like with my health. And so I went on ahead and I basically, if we look at my bag, I packed, now there's not just like groceries in here, but I packed a bag. I have a lunchbox in here with a cold gel thing, but I went on ahead and I got stuff ready for myself to have breakfast. Some breakfast items. I made some like egg bites. So super yummy. I should have filmed it, but I've seen them on some other YouTube videos. And I was like, I can do that. I can make those. So super easy, by the way. They're easy. They taste good. I had them for breakfast this morning. But I went on ahead and brought some of those. I got yogurt. I got granola because I make my own granola. And then I packed some of my charcuterie boxes, which I've shown you basically what goes in those, which will serve for lunches and stuff. And then I've got some Olipop in here too. So, and I did not bring them. I suppose I should also like clarify this. I do have a budget whenever I'm on work trips. And so that budget does account for food. Like, I don't want anyone to think that like I don't have money for food whenever I'm traveling. My work does cover those kinds of things. I just chose to do this for myself just to help keep me more accountable, and because like I've already counted the calories for these things, so I know like exactly how many calories I'll be taking in for breakfast and for lunch. And like the conference and stuff that I'm in like not 100% like downtown Wichita, but I am most definitely like in an area where like I don't know, and I did not see any like easily accessible restaurants because we're actually at a conference center here. So I decided it would be best if I had something that would be easy for me to just bring with me to the conference and just have there. So that's what those are for. So I chose to do this. I did it for myself, for my health, and for ease because I don't want to have to like go and get lost in the middle of a conference in a city that I don't know. Fair. So, but that being said, that means my budget is going to go towards like dinner. So I'll get something decent here probably tonight, like in tomorrow. Well, I will get something decent here tonight and tomorrow. But yeah, that's where we're at. So we shall see. We shall see what we find. This will probably be like, I'm just going to go find something to eat and then probably like chill for the night. The conference will get started later in the morning, and I found there were some really cool buildings down there. Now I'm probably just going to take my car and like park, and then I might just go for a walk around the area tomorrow where the conference is taking place, just so I can get some movement in while I'm here, because ain't gonna be too much movement happening at this conference. Like I did walk around a little bit just to see like who all was there, and I'm in excellent place professionally, like sitting there. I'm at like right next to the prize table, so everybody's gonna come up and have to talk to me at some point. Okay, have a good night. We'll pick this up maybe tomorrow. So I just found the clearance section in the Goddard Wal-Mart in Kansas, and well, one, I like the sign, but there'd be a whole lot of coffee pots. If I had the space for them, I would really like seriously consider getting a coffee pot. And then I found like the other sections. And wow, I don't really have anything else to say other than there's a whole lot. Like, can I just say, like, don't, like, I didn't even know, like, I didn't know Sesame Street even worked with things like Wet and Wild, because they also have like face jewelry. Now I will admit there's a part of me that's like, oh, this is just cute, and I can see the appeal of it, but like me want a cookie hand mirror, like that is cute, don't get me wrong, but like I really hope that's for like kids and not like adults. Because I don't know. I just don't know. But they have a whole lot of stuff that's here in the clearance aisle, which clearance, it's a wonderful and beautiful thing. So I'm going to look at the clearance aisle and see what else I can find. Some more awkward Cookie Monster things, apparently. But we'll see. We'll just see what's out there. Good morning. It is my first day here, like full day. That's going to be here in Wichita, and I slept in this morning. I don't have to be at the conference site until like 10 is when it officially starts. I can show up at 9 o'clock and get going, but yesterday was a very long day for me, as you've probably picked up on. So, but I did mention yesterday about like what I had brought for breakfast, just to kind of help me like stay consistent. Now, like from talking with my doctor and things like that, like I keep up with like high protein, so I tend to eat a lot of protein, and I ended up doing that last night. I just picked up something from Wal-Mart and was eating some relatively healthy stuff. It's a little hard to when you don't have a kitchen, and fast food just doesn't do it for you. So the egg bites I brought, like that's new, but it might become just a regular part of my rotation, but it has like all the essential things that I would normally have like in my breakfast. So let me go ahead and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so these are my egg bites. So I have eggs, I quartered up a biscuit, bacon is in them, jalapenos, and some red onion. So, and I mixed in some ricotta cheese to make them smooth and creamy, because I thought that would taste really good. I had them for breakfast yesterday, and they're very, very yummy. I also eat some kind of carb like each morning, just because I do really need like that like a complex carb and that release of energy for myself. So this is just plain Greek yogurt, and then I make my own granola. You know, it's like oats, raisins, sweetened coconut. I've got pecans in this one, cinnamon, chia seeds, flax, ground flax seed. And then I'm trying something new. We're gonna see how this goes. I found these at Walmart because I like coffee. I need coffee in the morning. Like, I can go without it, but some kind of caffeinated beverage is always helpful. And I'm a morning person. It's just I'm more of a morning person if I have some coffee. So I've never tried this before. We're gonna try it together. But this is Pop and Bottle Caramel Cold Brew. Apparently it's an oat milk latte, and it's supposed to be, it's only 120 calories, so not bad. So oat milk, dates, cold brew coffee, coconut, natural flavors, Himalayan pink salt gum, acacia, rosemary, reishi, and lion's mane. Now when I was looking at it, it said that the like reishi and lion's mane are apparently functional mushrooms. So it's not like, hey, I'm gonna go get high mushrooms. It's supposed to actually like be good for you and do stuff. So we are going to try this, and we're just gonna see how it goes. We'll see. I don't know. I have my questions on this. But, you know, what's a road trip if you don't try something new, right? So I am back at my hotel after the day. I've already eaten dinner. I had what was left over from yesterday. So I'm just gonna put it out there that Wichita's expensive. Like, I mean, originally from the St. Louis area, and I'm like, oh, like in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's just Wichita. Like, it's Kansas, stuff gets cheaper, the further west you go until you hit like tourist area. I don't know why I had it in my brain that how it worked. I know intellectually that's not how it works. It's just the way I was thinking about it. And I had to park in a parking garage, which just the area like I grew up in, like it's not a thing. Like parking garages just aren't a thing. So it's weird to me. So like there are meters all over the place. And there was supposed to have been like this free parking for the vendors for this like homeschool convention expo thing. Okay, there was. And it was taken up by all the people who brought like trailers. Like there was no parking in this parking space that was meant to be for like vendors. And then I pulled in this morning and I'm looking and I'm like, why isn't anyone parked on the other side? It's an entire parking lot dedicated to like handicap parking, which I'm like, good job. Like we need to give people who are legitimately handicapped like plenty of parking. But I was like, an entire parking lot? An entire parking lot. And so the other option that they gave, like those of us who were vendors, if we weren't able to park in like the free parking, like they're like, oh, but we have this other place where you can park. It'll be great. And I'm like, okay. So we're at the Century 2 here in Wichita, and it's attached to the Hyatt. And the Hyatt has a parking garage. So they said, oh, you can park in the Hyatt. So I'm like, well, of course I'm going to park wherever they tell me to park because I'm not from Wichita. I don't know my way around. Like I am 100% dependent on my GPS. $2 an hour to park there. And you pay when you leave. I arrived at 9:30 this morning and didn't leave until 7. $20 for me to park my car. And I have to, like, I said, like, yesterday, like, I have to budget. Like, when I go on work trips, like, the big thing at our job is, requisition before you acquisition. So, like, I set a certain amount of time. I did not think I was going to be paying $20 to park. Like, I took the longer way here, so I didn't have to pay money on toll bridges here in Kansas. And now I paid what I would have paid in tolls to park in a garage. So I'm going to have to get up like extra early here tomorrow, check out, do the whole 9 yards, and like try and get there early enough so that way I don't have to pay for parking. Because I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And the other option was, oh, well, you can go park in like all these other parking lots. There's meters everywhere. There's meters in parking lots. Oh my gosh. Oh. So needless to say, I went back to Walmart this evening and was like, I need to pick up stuff for me to eat on the way home tomorrow. So I picked, of course, like you can't buy anything just like individually at Walmart. Like it's not cost effective when you go to Walmart. Like so I went on ahead and I used my own money instead of using my school budget. And I was like, I like Canada Dry. I'll get some, 0 calorie, 0 sugar Canada Dry. I'll take that. I picked up like some pretzels and then like some jerky. And I'm like, oh, look, a protein, a carb, and a drink to have. So that's what I'm going to be taking on the road for dinner so I don't have to stop. Because it's going to be a long trip. I'm currently contemplating like if I'm going to leave or like the convention or like. Because at these kinds of things, whenever you work for like universities, like people are there to go in there, they're to talk to like a legitimate vendor. So like people who are selling curriculum, books, they're there to go to all the different like breakout sessions to hear the speakers. Like that's what they're there for. They're not really there to like talk to colleges, although they do, especially if they have like juniors and seniors. It's just like we're not at the top of the list. We're on the list, just not at the top. And so like it makes for things to be rather slow, like, to be perfectly honest about it. So although like I've had some like really good conversations today, I talked to about 6 different people and families, like legitimately like really good conversations, that were more than like 1 or 2 minutes. Like they were a good like 10 to 15 minute conversations talking about colleges and plans for college and what are some things that you can do and what my institution had available for them. So we're gonna see tomorrow like how it goes. Like it was really rainy here today, and so I heard several other people talking about like how they didn't have the amount of foot traffic they were expecting to have. So I think I'm just gonna see how it goes, and I'm gonna play by ear, and I might just call an audible, and I might just pack up and leave early tomorrow, depending on how it's going, because after paying $20 to park, if in the event that I definitely have to end up doing that again tomorrow, because I don't want to get lost in a city I don't know, and then have to walk like who knows how long to get to the place I'm supposed to be, I'm definitely not gonna be able to take any of the roads that have the tolls. Like it just like I wouldn't be able to afford it with, and I don't mind buying food with my own money, but when I'm in a company vehicle and like driving through all these different tolls, I definitely don't want, like, that's not something that's part of my budget. I can always like chalk up the food as like groceries and things like that, and like put it towards like my food budget, and because like, like I'm gonna munch on like a bag of pretzels for a while. I got a couple sodas, like the Canada Dry, like I'll drink those. Like I will drink those, especially because like Canada Dry, like it just helps my tummy from time to time. But and like I like jerky. I'm good with jerky. It's a good high in protein, and like I'll eat on it. It'll be a good snack for me. But whew, that $20 to park, it's murder. All right, it's Saturday morning. I am up and moving. It's about 6:30 right now. I got up at 6 because, like I said, I am leaving early. I am going to get the debt-free parking because I have to. But same thing I had yesterday. I've got my egg bites, I've got some granola and yogurt, and I have another coffee by Pop and Bottle. Let's take a look because I did get a different flavor. So this is the mocha cold brew. So we are going to try the mocha cold brew and see how it goes. Okay, well, it definitely like smells really good. Like I got it with it as I popped the can open. So I shook this one first thing. I remembered to do that. So once again, it's a oat milk latte mocha cold brew. It's dairy free, no refined sugar, single shot coffee. It's got ashwagandha and matcha in it. So let's see how this goes. I've never had that in a coffee. It's very chocolatey. It's most definitely very chocolatey. I do like it. Like, I don't mind it. It's different. It's not bad. It's just different. I have secured the free parking. It's 7:40 in the morning and I can't go in until 9. But I am here. I am in the free parking. So I am happy. I brought a book and some crochet with me. I'm working on something that's going to be like for Christmas. Yes, I am one of those people. Don't judge me. But so I have something to like keep me occupied. But yes, I showed up almost an hour and a half before like I could go in, so I could make sure I did not have to pay for parking, because I showed up yesterday early and there was no free parking. And just to kind of give you an idea, let's flip this around real quick. Okay, so like this is the building that we're having the convention, and all the trailers, and just it's actually quite nice. Like, it's a very nice area, but you can see that this is the free parking area. And then like across the way, like past this car, down like by this row of trees here, kind of like, whoa, right there, that row of trees. That's all the handicap parking I was telling you about. And so then like, for me to park yesterday, I had to take this road, circle around, and park in the Hyatt, which is on the opposite side of this big round building here. But not today. I got the free parking. And like, I even threw my exhibitor thing up here just in case anybody comes by and is like, why are you parked here? I'm like, I was getting the free parking that is due me as a vendor at this convention and expo. Thank you very much. Don't challenge me is what this comes down to. Don't challenge me. I will. Let's see this through. Okay. We are back on the road once again. I've been on the road actually for about 2 hours at this point. The Saturday, like, there really wasn't that much traffic, and most of the people who would talk to me...
There's a speed trap ahead.
Most of the people who would talk to me had already talked to me. So after I hit, like, past the hour point of talking to people, I was like, okay, we're gonna call it quits. Plus, like, a bunch of construction. I'm taking roads so I can avoid tolls. Like, it's a 6.5 hour trip back to my town, and I have to stop by work because I have all of my work stuff and I'm in a work vehicle. I can't take the work vehicle to my apartment, so I have to drop everything off. And so, like, it's gonna be pushing like 9:30, 10 o'clock ish, and that's not counting like me needing to stop and like I will have to get fuel at least one time, and then I will probably want a bathroom break at some point. I try to like make the two coincide, but you know, it doesn't always work that way. So it was shaping up to be an incredibly long night. But by leaving, it's 5 o'clock now, so by leaving around 3, that will at least allow me to arrive back at my job, like, on Saturday, which is today, and not on Sunday morning, because as much as I enjoy traveling, like, you know, you never sleep well. You just never sleep well. So I'm looking forward to being in my own bed and just sleeping and not having an alarm go off. And although, like, I was being really controlled with, like, my breakfast and my lunches these last couple of days, my dinners, like, have completely, like, ruined it. And, like, I'm not feeling all that great. Like, my stomach does not feel all that great. So, and I just feel like, ugh, you know, like, with that feeling, like, you know, you didn't eat well. And I know I didn't eat well. I like munchy snacks, and so, like, out of necessity, I got some of those for cost, and so that way, like, I could make, like, a single trip doing this, like, not stopping for lunch or anything like that, or dinner, not lunch, dinner. But it is what it is. And this week, like, my entire, like, schedule was just thrown off because, like, I had stuff I had to do, like, in the evenings this week, so I wasn't able to get out and, like, walk the way I have been doing. I normally walk about 2 miles a day, and this week, like, my entire schedule was just really thrown out of whack, and so, like, I can really feel where it got thrown out of whack. So tomorrow, it'll be too late by the time I get home, so tomorrow morning, like, we're going to get back into, like, my yoga practice and go for a walk, probably. We'll see, like, where I'm at and how tired I am when I make it home, because right now I'm thinking I might miss Sunday school. We'll see where I'm at about making it to church on time. But, man, like, I'm tired just thinking about it. Like, can't imagine what I'm actually going to end up feeling like. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. We'll see. This is just my introductory chit chat with you while I'm heading back into the lovely state of Missouri. We shall see where I'm at here in like another hour or so. Because like I said, I'm less than 100 miles outside of Kansas City. And really, once I hit Kansas City, like, I don't need a GPS or anything really to be on. I could probably actually turn my GPS off now and be completely fine, because I just stay on 35 and then I'm going to head, basically I just stay on 35 north. It's really like all I'm going to be doing. So, we'll see. We'll just see. We'll see how bored I get. Because I might turn this back on and do a little bit more chit chat with y'all. Or I might turn on my audiobook. I hadn't turned that on because I had to use my phone earlier today. So, and since I just got this phone, I haven't gotten like an adapter yet for the car. And my cord would work fine in my personal vehicle because it's got the plug-in. It does not work in my school vehicles because they have like kind of an old school plug-in. But anywho, I'm gonna let this go for right now, and maybe you'll see me again before I make it back to my apartment. So I am back in Missouri at this point. I just got off Interstate 35, and I'm on 36 right now, which I have driven on this road so many times it's not even funny anymore. But just FYI for anyone, and I just lost it. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, you fell off. That's just kind of what happens from time to time. So anyway, I'm back on 36. I've driven on this road so many times it's not even funny. But if you're ever driving through Missouri, 36 is the easiest way to get across northern Missouri. It's the shortest way to do that. But B, if you're just wanting to find like random museums like in Missouri, just drive across 36. So if you're in Hamilton, Missouri, they have the J.C. Penney Museum, General Pershing. There is a little place for him, like farther down, kind of like central on 36. And then if you make it to Marceline, Missouri, and you are a Walt Disney fan, you should stop in Marceline because we have a Walt Disney Museum there, because Marceline is Walt Disney's hometown. And then of course you can keep on going, and then once you hit Hannibal, it's like Mark Twain all over the place. That's just how it works. And then of course, like, you can keep on going on 36. You'll end up eventually on 72 over in Illinois, and then they have a bunch of like museums and historical towns, like they're like off the interstate as you're heading east across the state. But if you're ever bored and you live in Missouri and you need something to do, there you go. I mean, there's nothing else really to say. I would say, like, if you need somewhere to stop, though, that's nice. Chillicothe. Oh, that's another place you can stop. You can go see the museum there. Chillicothe is the home of sliced bread, literally. And they have a really clean McDonald's, like, if you're needing a bathroom break. And then, let's see, like, what else is there? The more I think about it, where else is there that you can stop? And then if you just want like a nice larger town just to go through and just kind of explore, you can always check out Macon, Missouri. Macon's actually quite nice. So there you go. There's places for you to go in Missouri. Good morning, it's Sunday. So I actually got back. I had to drop the car off at my job. I made it back to my apartment at about 10:15 last night, and then because I had stopped and gotten some coffee like while I was traveling, I was basically buzzed. So I couldn't sleep. So I was up, took a shower, worked on getting my footage from my trip uploaded and taking care of some of those things. So needless to say, I was up past midnight, as I was waiting for my brain to stop running. And so I slept in really late. So Where I attend church, they do they still stream online. So I caught church online this morning, and I've now gotten dressed, and I'm gonna get up and get going and start doing a couple of errands. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this travel vlog here, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel. That way, you'll be able to find out whenever I post new videos. And even though this one is a travel vlog, I also post other videos about more of like my life, things that I'm doing like during the week or on the weekends. And I post educational videos that are us walking through the Bible, or about information just on how to like manage a small group or anything like that. So like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.